Today I'm gonna talk you through setting up cleats on your new road shoes or mountain bike shoes. It can be a little confusing sometimes to figure out where on the shoe you wanna put your cleat. So I'm gonna show you a simple way to use the anatomy of your foot to put it in a neutral spot. First thing you wanna do is actually you wanna get your shoe off. You wanna put your foot on a nice flat surface, right? And you look at it and you'll have the two balls of your feet right here. If you draw a line right in between these 2 points, you'll get a nice neutral spot. Too far back, there's not enough support here. That's the arch of your foot. There's nothing really here. Too far forward and you're on your toes, that's not ideal either. So you wanna figure out this nice, perfect spot to really put force down into the pedal, right? So how do we get that spot marked on this shoe? Well, you start with no cleat on here. Get your shoe on. Again, you want to put it on a nice flat surface, and you can feel through the shoe the two balls of your foot. And this is where handy Sharpie comes in. I like to use black because it's easier to see, but if you're particular and you don't want to mess up your nice new cycling shoes, I would go with something that's a little bit more color matched and subtle. You want to find kind of the closest thing you can to the peak of the ball on this side first. Put a little dot. Go to the other side. Find the peak of that. Put a little dot. And what I can do is essentially just transfer them down to the sole. Grab a ruler. And now that you have the two marks on the bottom of the sole, you can just draw a nice straight line. So the center point of that line will be right around here. So that's essentially where you want to center your cleat for a nice neutral cleat position. I say neutral because people have preferences. Fit is very particular. Typically, more endurance road-oriented riders will want them further back for greater stability. Track sprinters typically prefer their cleats further forward for higher peak power, but at the cost of stability. So now that we have the center line, you can take a look at your cleat, and Shimano look cleats very similar. They'll all have this little tiny mark to kind of designate the center point of the cleat. It's a little circle. It's pretty easy to see once you're looking for it, but it's not in the instructions anywhere. So now that you have that, you can grab your Allen key, your cleat bolts, and start attaching things. You basically want to get it right in that neutral center point in the middle of the shoe. Then you can tighten it down, get the shoe on your foot, clip in, and this is where you have to start to play with this angle, right? Now most cleats will have a certain amount of float. This is a fixed cleat, so probably don't use this unless you have very specific fit issues that you're trying to fix. Once you're clipped into your bike, you want to check to make sure you have a little bit of float on both sides. You don't want to clip in and immediately be up against a float limit. So if you clip in and you can't wiggle your foot to one side or the other, it means you want to come back out, loosen the cleat a little bit, adjust the angle until you have some movement on both sides. So this is a great starting point if you're not sure of how far forward or how far back you prefer your cleats. It's a neutral position that's based on your foot anatomy, and all you really need is a ruler, a Sharpie, nice flat surface, and some shoes, and you're good to go. Hey man. All right. Hey man, what's up?